everyone, welcome back to another weekly episode of Simplicity TV. I am Jen Pike, your host. I'm also the founder of the hormone project, Synced and the Audacious Woman. A couple of weeks ago, I hosted alongside Dr. Laura Anderson, who is our team naturopath and coach in the hormone project, a webinar. It was really more of a masterclass where we talked about 6 unique different therapies and modalities of healing that are not often talked about to a woman or with a woman on the journey of trying to improve her health. And I wanted this webinar that we did to be free of talking about supplements and nutrition and exercise, because mainly those are the 3 prongs, right, that we try and control: our food, supplements we're taking, and then our movement. And we feel like if we've done all of those things and nothing's changed, then our body is broken, there is something wrong with us. And I want to help you understand that a little bit deeper. First of all, your body is not broken. Perhaps the approach you've been taking has not been the most pinpointed one. Perhaps you need a little bit more education and a deeper understanding. One of the areas we talked about, so I'll quickly take you through the 6, and then we actually do have the recording available of this on our website at jenpike.com. But one of the things that we talked about was the important role that botanicals and herbs and plant medicines and homeopathy and Chinese medicine can play in our body. And I wanted to talk about this because we have different people on our team for different reasons in terms of our scope of practice. So I describe myself as, I am really the bird's eye view, and I love triage. I really like complicated situations. Not that I want people to go through this, but when a woman comes and says, like, I've had this going on forever, I've seen umpteen people, I need a fresh perspective, I don't really know what's going on. That is my jam. That's what I love. And that is what I think my skill set is at. With Laura, she's really good at looking at some of the different constitutional properties for a woman's body. So for instance, it's like the things that make you hum. It's the things that, really at a root are making up who you are. It's how you show up. In Chinese medicine, we would look at things like your meridians and that qi, that life force. We look at different organs like your liver, your kidneys, your spleen, your lungs. And understanding, like, are you somebody that is got more stagnant energy? Are you cooler? Is it more yin? Is it dampening? Are you somebody that's got more yang, more heat, more fire that's going on in your body? And understanding the difference of those things going on in your body, how they're affecting the different organs and systems, can have a dramatic impact on the recommendations for you. Recommendations about what you eat, what you drink, the temperature of those things, the timing of the day. In Chinese medicine, your entire body is on a meridian clock, and every hour and every different section of the day has a corresponding organ sensitivity, awareness, or really where things kind of start to shut down in a way. So the liver is a prime example. The liver, from 1 a.m. till 3 a.m. is when it is most active. So it's most active at processing physical, mental, and emotional things that it is going through. It is also most active in terms of how it connects with what's going on with your stress hormones. So the kidneys, the adrenals, cortisol production, your blood sugar regulation. And so if we have women who are constantly waking up between 1 and 3 in the morning, that's kind of part 1 of understanding. And then we need to ask deeper questions about how else or what else is going on. The corresponding flip side of that is if you fast forward to 12 hours later in the day, 1 to 3 in the afternoon, does she have cravings? Does she have irritability? Is she exhausted? Is she looking for coffee, alcohol? Alcohol at 1 to 3 in the afternoon is a big problem. Is she looking for the quick pick-me-up, right? Something sugary, whatever it may be. Again, another clue, an indication about some things we need to look at. There are specific Chinese medicine remedies, tinctures, herbs, creams, pellets that I've got here, teas, different things like that, acupuncture points, moxa, cupping. There's so many different things under that one realm of Chinese medicine. I have talked about this before. It was the biggest catalyst in changing my body with acne. I suffered from cystic acne for many years. It was painful. I was trying every tool I had access to, and Chinese medicine was one of those areas about 4 or 5 years ago I really hadn't dabbled in for myself. And so once I did, and I started to understand more, and I applied a lot of these principles, I was able to get things moving. I had a lot of stagnation. Things were stuck in my body, and we needed to create flow in order to decongest my skin. And once we did that, I rarely have any issues now. The odd time here and there, but nothing like what I dealt with. So that's one thing that I wanted to bring to your attention. The other is the role of homeopathy. And so this right here, this is one of our trays that we have in our house that are full of all different homeopathic remedies. And you might ask yourself like, oh my gosh, that looks like a ton. Why do you have so much of that in your house? Things like this and our supplements and our powders and that, this is really my family's apothecary. When we feel unwell, when we feel stressed, when one of the kids gets, injured or there's a bump, a bruise, mentally and emotionally something's going on, menstrual issues, whatever it may be, this is what we come to. It is stored here and it's in this cupboard. And because I've been doing this for so long and I've been mentored by fantastic practitioners, we have a homeopath, we have a naturopath, we have a Chinese medicine doctor. We have all these different people that we can reach out to help us know, okay, for this specific issue that's going on in the body, what is a remedy that we can use to help to change that? With homeopathy, there are thousands of different remedies. Dilution is really at the root of this. So it really is a less is more, right? Really being diluted, smaller amount, nudging your body and your nervous system as opposed to conventional medicine, over-the-counter prescriptions and things like that. Even NSAIDs, their job is to go in and to shut your body's signaling up, suppress the symptoms, vape them, get rid of them right away so that they're not bugging you anymore. And in your mind, I can understand why you think that that would be a good thing, but we have to remember that symptoms are messengers. What are they ultimately trying to communicate with us? Where do we have to actually do the work? And what I've seen time and time again in our family, in my practice, is when you tap into Chinese medicine, homeopathy, different botanicals, your body responds not just by releasing the symptoms of your cold, your virus, whatever it may be, but it enhances and improves your connection to your body. And we start to learn from your system the next time something like that shows up, what do we need to use? Hence why there's 4 of us that live in this house. We also use homeopathy with our dog when she has issues. She tore her ACL a few years ago. It was a huge part of her healing. So I have probably in the upwards of 400 different homeopathic remedies in our house. All different, anything from a 6CH all the way up to a 1M in our house is what we use. And if you watch different shows, so I gave this example in the webinar. I don't know if you've ever watched Outlander on Netflix, and there's so many other examples of this, but Claire, the main character, she is a nurse, but when she goes back in time into the 1700s into Scotland, she is what's referred to as a healer. Okay, now back in the day, and I'd say even in today, back in the day, you were called a witch if you did that. You were like burned at the stake. It was part of the devil's work. Nowadays, people just call you woo or granola or crunchy or weird. So I'm all of the things. I'm all of the things, and I'm proudly all of those things because I have zero interest in suppressing anything in my body. My body is brilliant. My body knows how to heal. It just needs the right tools and support to get there, and so does yours. So Claire, her remedies and all of her things she's using, you see her in the fields, picking from certain flowers, picking from certain bushes. Somebody gets poisoned, she makes belladonna remedy and gives that to re-regulate the heart and to help support the system. Somebody has a skin issue, she's applying calendula. These are using all the same properties. Think of your grandmother. Think of when you were growing up, what were some of the traditional, we call them old school remedies, but really just using the resources of Mother Nature, the planet, and Earth to heal. I remember mustard packs. I remember the wet socks and the cold socks. I remember, bringing warmth to the body, lymph stimulation, those types of things growing up. What I don't remember is constant antibiotics and constant this and constant that. We grew up in a household where it was like, let's just see what your body does. And then if we need to, we can get in and do some of those things. Our kids are almost 13 and 15 and have never had an antibiotic in their life. They've never been on a prescription medication. We've used all of these things working with skilled practitioners. Now, when it comes to tinctures and plant-based and botanicals, these are your herbs. These are botanicals that are coming from various flowers and plants and trees and shrubs and roots and weeds and things that you would find out in nature. Hands down, the #1 company that I recommend, who is so masterful at this, they're a Canadian-based company, St. Francis Herb Farm. The blend of their tinctures, their process of actually cultivating and harvesting and bringing those in and creating, I have just a handful of some of the different things here outside of this. This one is Chinese medicine. Deep immune, based and rooted from that. This one here, Respire Effect. This is something where I've been working with a lot of families and people through COVID who have actually gotten it. This is a lung tincture and a big one that I've had them using as part of their healing. Same with the chest rub. Instead of Vicks, which is petroleum based and actually is creating and causing more congestion that moves deeper into the body, their chest rub has the same idea, the same type of properties that we are hoping to create, but much more natural for the system. Remember, whatever you put on your skin, it's getting into your body, it's getting into your bloodstream, it's making its way into your lymphatic system, and it could be impacting more than just your lungs. And then I have various remedies here. These are digestive bitters to help to support hydrochloric acid and enzyme production in your body. I have various female ones here for menstrual support. Ear oil. Every family needs to have the St. Francis Herb Farm ear oil. This can also be used in pets as well. Littlest sign of an ear infection, 3 to 5 drops in there, massage it, warm compress. You do that a few times a day. I can guarantee you that your chances of having to go to the doctor for antibiotics, which there are so many studies now, you can go and find them yourself on PubMed, open to the public, that show that antibiotics for ear infections actually do very little to help and oftentimes contribute to reoccurring ear infections, secondary infections, yeast infections, so on and so forth. So that's their ear oil. And then this is their throat spray. So again, so many different ways that we can very gently support the body instead of, smacking the body into submission. And I wanted to just bring your awareness to some other things that maybe you haven't approached. So you have digestive issues, you have chronic headaches, you're not sleeping, you have hot flashes, hormonal issues, and autoimmune condition. Maybe your next reach out is to our naturopath on the team. If you are in Ontario, because naturopaths are regulated province to province and then country to country. So in Ontario, Laura would be able to help you and to really get you set up on a system for support. If you're not in Ontario, you can book a session with her as a health coach for some information, or you can also look in your own province for a qualified classical homeopath or an ND to really help to get you started. So I hope this gave you some wisdom for thought here. Also just kind of broke open the headspace of what's possible. These are the things that we teach the women inside of the Hormone Project. Again, it is not what you might think that it is. This is not just about running a Dutch test and looking at your blood work and giving you a meal plan. That's not what we do. It is not who we are. We are much deeper, and we are connected to the cyclical wisdom in women's bodies, to Mother Nature, and to everything that you need on every level of support. So if you have any questions about any of this, you're interested in the Hormone Project, you could go to jenpike.com/the Hormone Project and fill out an application. If you have a general inquiry, reach out to my team, hello@jenpike.com. Have a fantastic rest of your day.